I'm disconnecting the power and we're going to flip over to our lithium system.
Oh, that looks nicer.
Let's change our story, let's change our life. We'll do it our way, our own design.
Okay, I can't wait any longer. Today, I'm disconnecting the power and we're going to flip over to our lithium system. But I know that this is going to be hours and hours of grueling, back-breaking work.
Are we nervous about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a very long day. And I don't know what kind of gremlins we're gonna find in the system, but I'm sure there will be some.
But it's $320.
A little bit of moisture in there. We need to clean these contacts and put some dielectric grease there. Okay, we are offline without power. Now we need to figure out the inverter and get that shut down.
We are changing out our inverter. We bought a really nice Victron inverter. The one we have is an older Xantrax. It's not pure sine. It needs to be replaced. So we're replacing the inverter. We thought this was going to be really complicated, trying to figure out how to wire when you have two 30-amp cords and how to feed the generator and whatever. Thankfully, an electrician previously set up the system. So everything on the back of the panel is actually wired appropriately. We did so much reading and then we came down here, looked at the panel, and we're like, oh, never mind. It's all kind of set. So all we gotta do is pull the wires from the old inverter and then feed them to the new inverter, which is installed in a better location. And I think that's all there's going to be to this, actually, other than hooking up the new battery bank, which is a separate issue. That's actually wonderful news. Whoever did this before labeled everything on each end, so we were able to see what was going into the inverter from the AC panel, and this will switch either generator or Shore 1 on our boat. And then the generator is kind of hopped to the other side of the panel to run the heavy hydraulic water maker water heater. So we didn't realize that until we really got to looking at this panel. And now we have it figured out. Feels so much better. Yeah. Because I think we were both near tears, like not sure what we were doing here. Ready to get rid of this thing?
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a bad inverter.
We'll have to look it up. It might actually be a sine wave, but the fact that it doesn't say sine wave on it, it makes me worried. And it's stamped here November 13th, 2003. All right, that's probably very heavy.
I think it is very heavy.
Yes, it is very heavy. Holy guacamole, it's a beast.
Oh, baby, do you need me to put this down?
Yep.
Okay. I am working on our galley. Corey is doing battery project. Let's see what he's doing.
Hello. So yeah, if you guys missed the last video, we are building our own DIY lithium iron phosphate battery bank, and we are going to go whole on electric. I know it's controversial, but while I'm working on this, Becky's taken to the galley.
So one of the downsides of our galley is that we have very little cabinet space. As you can see, there's just this, which is horrible. Don't judge me. Horrible. And then there's this little tiny cupboard under the sink. It's actually not so tiny, but it's stuffed full of stuff. Most of that stuff came in the boat. I don't even know what it is because I haven't been through it yet, but we'll have to do that. But anyways, the countertop is so deep that I cannot reach the back of the countertop. The other thing is, somebody did quite a nice hack job putting in a gimbaled 3-burner marine range. It is this creature right here. And as you can see, they hacked up the counter to put it in. So we're gonna basically take it back to what it was supposed to be, only it's gonna be electric and the stovetop's not installed. So let me show you what we've got. So this is one of the pieces that I've purchased so far. This is an induction cooktop. We actually used the same sort of thing in our Airstream because we didn't have a built-in stove in our Airstream. It just got way hot and very annoying. So this is what I have purchased. And I like this for the fact that we are actually going to redo the countertop in here because there's a lot of like weird contours and holes, and the sink is terrible. All this stuff is going to go. But what we're going to do is put a full-on countertop over the whole thing so all the space is usable. And then when we're not actually cooking and using these cooktops, we can put these in a cupboard or somewhere. We'll figure that out later. But that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually buy another one of these. We bought this one to start because I haven't tried this brand before. I did buy this on Amazon, and I watched some reviews on YouTube, and multiple people said this was one of the better portable ones. I think this company makes professional grade equipment, is my understanding, but this is actually a home-based model. So we're gonna give this one a try. We'll test it all out and see how it works. But the next part is getting rid of this range.
So trying to sort out these wires here, and a lot of them are labeled like water maker. So that's really nice. I mean, they spelled it wrong. If you were going to put it on the label, I might as well go ahead and put the E in there. But that's okay. And then there's this one here that we don't know what it is. And it's labeled TABLEAU. I'm pretty sure it's French. So Becky's found a French to English.
It means board.
Oh no.
Tableau, if I'm even saying that right, means board.
What does board mean?
I don't know.
So
Does it say starboard, maybe? Is there like another word?
No.
I just thought maybe it was port and starboard.
So I have no idea what this wire is for, nor do we know what this wire is for because there's no label at all. But they're positive leads, so they're feeding
probably
something.
Feeding the... Maybe that means the board. Maybe that means the board.
Oh,
the push buttons.
Maybe it is the push button board. It's turning out to be much more of a beastie project than I expected. But here, so far, this is our 5. There's 3 here and 2 here, batteries. And each one of those is 280 amp hours. And then this is my homemade bus bar. And I've got the negatives down here already. And the positives will go here, but they are not on yet. We'll do that next. Over here, I'm going to be installing the new edition Victron Smart Shunt. So that's going to go like this. But this is Bluetooth enabled, so the shunt will allow us to monitor our usage of all of the batteries as a whole. So then we're going to run that over to our Victron Multi Plus, which is right here. This is a beast of a project.
Yeah. So, and I'm now ripping into new projects, so I'm not sure what's going to happen.
She's tearing stuff up upstairs.
Tearing stuff up. So.
Okay, but we're moving along here, and I still think that we're going to turn the corner and things are going to come together a little faster. There's been an awful lot of work. I mean, all of these wires, the crimping, the soldering, the heat shrinking, the building of the bus bar, it's just all of this stuff takes a lot of work, and you're just working, but then there's really nothing to see. So it feels like you're not moving along, but we are moving along.
I think we gotta run to Home Depot though.
Yeah, we need a couple of specialty parts. West Marine. Yeah, so expensive, but if you need it now, that's the way to go.
So as you guys probably don't know, I'm not usually the one who does the filming of any of our videos because I am really bad at handling the camera. This is my confessional. Corey will enjoy watching this later. I'm really bad at the camera. I have very short attention span for things like this. And so a lot of times my camera ends up pointing at things that I'm not technically trying to film and also that make no sense. So if you see a lot of that in this video, it's Corey's fault because he went on a boat ride with the neighbor in a speedboat instead of working on what he was supposed to be working on. So this oven is heavy. Let's see if I can lift it though. I don't know if this will reach the floor. Let me... Nope. Oh God. See, this is why you shouldn't do this when nobody's standing here. I'm stuck on the gimbal thing. Oh, that's fantastic. Are you kidding me? This is why you don't do things when he steps off the boat. I don't know when he's coming back. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. Come a little bit further. I should have just unscrewed that. That would have been a smart idea. Hello. Okay. Ha ha ha. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Woo. Okay. Now that I'm sweating, and that was terrible, I need to find the wrench to unscrew the propane from the back. All right, I did it. So I just need to unscrew it the rest of the way. So this is what we're looking at. I'm gonna hang you upside down, I guess, and put you down here in the hole. Let me see if I can see. That's it. It finally budged. So I'm gonna unscrew it the rest of the way, and then we'll get this out and set it on the floor. All right, we are free. Okay, so now let me get ready to lift this extremely heavy beast again. Getting it down the ramp because the handle's ripping. That was terrible. I managed to get it down to the dock and get it in a dock cart, but I didn't have a dock cart up in the car. So, anyways, I'm gonna need help because the handle's ripping.
Okay, am I
Yeah,
cord?
you're clear. You're clear.
Okay,
Come on.
come on.
All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this back.
We are connecting the hot leads, and I'll take the camera for a second. So we've got the mains shut off here, so that is actually off. This is my bus bar that I've made. Down here I've got my negative leads, battery 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got these as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up here I'm going to go, if I can, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I don't know how necessary this is, but I'm going to do it that way to try to get this to pull energy equally through the cells. When you're running in parallel, a lot of times people will just daisy chain these black to black, red to red, and then they'll go black to black, red to red all the way. So you basically got like a line of them, and then they'll pull from that last battery in the row. So then in theory, that last battery is the one taking most of the work, and the first battery in the row is not taking as much work. So it's better to pull from a positive on one end and a negative on the other end. Well, we don't have them set up that way because I built this big giant bus bar here. So I'm just going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hopefully that will help to balance them out. I don't know if it will, but it might. So, so then what I'll need is battery number 5 to come in first, which is somewhere down here.
Hopefully you have enough cordage.
Yeah, that is something we need to hope for. And the last one. So far, I'm pretty happy with my bus bar.
Of course, we haven't plugged it in yet.
We haven't plugged it in, so I don't know if it's going to work. I left an extra post here just in case we wanted to do battery expansion. We've got room for one more. We have 1400 amp hours, so I don't know that we're going to need more. But try to compare ourselves to other people that we can see, like on YouTube, on SB Zatara, on Curiosity. These folks are very heavy consumers of power, and I think that we're going to be heavy consumers of power as well. So we have slightly more than Curiosity has, and Zatara has said that they would do a bigger bank, and I think they're actually planning to do a lithium upgrade soon. So we'll see what they end up putting on, but hopefully ours is in line with what we need. It's hard. It's very hard to run these calculations and estimate how much power you're going to need. So we tried our best to calculate and then go bigger. So we'll see.
So Carter is really into gaming. He's actually planning on putting a gigantic gaming desktop in this room. He's working very hard on earning that desktop right now. He's mainly the one in charge of washing and waxing this boat and getting this boat back up to snuff. So once he does that, he hopefully will have enough earned money to buy the gaming desktop that he wants. He currently has a laptop that does heavy use, as well as PlayStations and Xboxes and all that good stuff. So, yes, we let our kids game, and they will continue to game when we're out and about. So we got to be sure we have enough power to run those devices because they're very heavy draw. Plus all Corey stuff and video editing and big computers and whatever else.
I need the wire cutters up there. To the right.
Oh, these little baby
That's
ones?
the only ones we can find.
Little baby wire cutters.
Yeah, I've misplaced my bigger ones. Okay, so we're getting ready to do a couple of crazy things. I'm about to flip that red positive switch right there, which is going to send voltage to my multi-plus here. Becky is reading the manual there, and we have, I think, the correct software downloaded here, I think. Notice the big red X. I don't really know, but hopefully we don't see smoke. All right, let's flip. Ready? All right, nothing has happened. Okay, so then I don't have any LEDs on or anything here. Oh, now I've got a green light.
So it's on, okay. All right.
Oh, apparently there's no communication.
Is it plugged into the wrong spot? I'm trying to figure out. Let me look back at the appendix.
Okay, so multiple runs to the truck to recharge my computer now, because I have no power on the boat. So when the computer goes dead, I have to go to the truck where I have a small little inverter to charge. There was a YouTube video out there made by Battleborn where the person says you have to flip a dip switch on the multi-plus, and it appears that that is incorrect. Now, he did have a different multi-plus version than what we have. Maybe it's an old video, old generation, I don't know. But for us, for the Victron multi-plus 3000 12 volt 120 amp, don't flip any dip switches.
That's why it wasn't working.
It wasn't working. Now it is working. Okay, target found. So I don't want to sound negative to Battleborn, because we actually bought our Victron multi-plus from Battleborn, and we've heard that they have excellent customer service and excellent support, which is why we chose to buy it from them. They are available on Amazon and everything else, but we bought it from them just because we figure we're kind of like a little bit on the pioneer side of things, trying to do this ourselves. Others have done this before us, but not many, at least not online that we can follow. So feel just a little tiny bit foolish. When I called Battleborn, I had to call them for a different reason, but we talked briefly, and the guy's name was Corey, so it's easy to remember, and he was very nice on the phone. And he said that if you buy from Battleborn, when the multi-pluses come in, they automatically change the programming on it to match their Battleborn batteries, and that makes sense. So he said, was what we're doing, building our own cells, it's probably going to be pretty close, if not spot on. And once we got access with this MK3, the MK3 device that you have to plug in to be able to see all of the settings, it was spot on, exactly where we want it to be. So I don't recommend that you guys do that. If you buy your own batteries, do your own thing like us, you probably need to verify it and make sure that it is how you want it to be. But for us, everything was spot on. So now...
But also, our batteries have a different max charge voltage than what is set here. But we didn't, because we can go to 3.65 per, we can go 3.65 per cell, right? So it's possible that we could have set the voltage just a little bit higher than what Battleborn has it set at. But I think for us, we're going to leave it alone because safety.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to charge at the max voltage. You just have to charge at a voltage over what the cells are. We made an assumption. When we got these batteries, we thought maybe it was like other things that you buy that come with a battery that's fully charged. That's not the case. And a problem is they didn't send us the spec sheets. So we didn't have the spec sheets, so we didn't know. And so when we're programming these BMSs, it kept saying they're like 50% charged when we did these parameters. So we kept thinking we're doing something wrong. Well, it turns out on the spec sheet, when we finally were able to download one from a website we found where people were loading up spec sheets, it said that they come between 20 and 50%.
Yeah, prolonged storage.
For prolonged storage. So we had the parameters correct, but we kept thinking we have to change this because it's not right, but it was right. So we sorted all that out, but it took several days just to figure out these little things. It's so silly how much time we have spent trying to figure this out. So although this is a very significant cost savings, if you were to do this yourself, I will say it is not without difficulty, and it can be quite frustrating and a little bit exhausting. So if you have the funds, it might be worth just to buy the pre-made batteries. But if you're like us and do not have the funds for that much money spent on a battery bank, then doing it this way is well worth the hassle. And there's a lot of sources out there online and different places that you can find the information you need. It just takes a lot of digging around and then listening to armchair experts and trying to weed out who is who and who actually knows what's happening.
But something else that is worthwhile to point out. So 5 batteries. So here's 1, that's 2, and then you can see 3, 4, and 5 down there. So these batteries are just ever so slightly bigger than the Battle-Born batteries. The Battle-Born batteries are 100 amp hours each, and these are 280 amp hours each. So you would get 500 amp hours and roughly the same footprint. So for 5 Battle-Born batteries at 500 amp hours, the most recent price we saw was about $950. That's $4,750. So if we were to try to replace these with Battle-Born batteries and get the 1400 amp hours that we have here, it would be a cost of $13,500. That is an incredible savings because we spent $2,048 for the batteries versus
with shipping and everything.
That was including shipping. Now the BMSs was separate. That was probably another, I don't know, $250 to $300. So we'll call it $2,500. I'm rounding up. And everything else you would have to buy anyway, the wires and the cables and fuses and shutoffs and all of that. So that's part of your cost for your system. But we're just talking batteries to batteries equivalent. It's huge savings. So I want to show you guys real quick. This is the app right here that you use for the BMSs. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it finds my devices. Now, a little tiny fault here is they're not labeled, so you don't really know which one you're going to get, but a blue light shows up on the BMS when you click into it. But we'll just pick one at random, this middle one, and it quickly goes through, and it tells me that my batteries are at 44%, and that's excellent because just a few hours ago they were at 15%, and they are charging. You can see this is toggling over, it is charging. And if you watch really closely right here where it says 123.17, it is going up 0.18, 0.19. So we are picking up speed, and hopefully here in a few hours we will have full capacity. Right now we have 123 amp hours of our 280. This is just a tiny bit of a guesstimate because of the different parameters that you have to program. However, now we're going to go out and we're going to go to the Victron configure. Okay, so here is our Bluetooth, and it is also telling us that we are at 48% capacity. This is slightly higher because we wanted this to cap out first, and then we're going to reset it. This does not control anything, it just monitors everything. But check this out. When I click into the history, it gives us all kinds of specs here. The last time we were discharged and charge energy, and time since the last full charge, max battery voltage, that sort of thing. When we click on trends, it is actually following us live here, the live usage. And right now we are on the positive side. Just then the refrigerator kicked off, and so now our amps have gone up. It looks like a lot, but it's actually not. It's probably 69 up to about 73-ish, 74, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, so this is live. Now, we are currently charging. We are plugged into the Marina. So the Marina is putting energy into the battery bank. This is monitoring the battery bank. I fully assume when we unplug, this will be trending downward as we're drawing until we install solar or the Victron Orions, all of that kind of stuff. So here, let me toggle over. You can see that it's just following. So our voltage went up a little bit when the refrigerator compressor kicked off, and now we're just going nice and flat.
Well, there is a vent up the back of this thing, but it did say it could be fit in. Oh, that looks nicer, don't you think?
Yes.
The problem is potentially going to be, because you're going to put that bigger sink in here.
We have room to go down if we have to.
We do.
And we can go up if we have to.